Hello everyone, my name is Sergey. Thank you for joining me today with an open heart and an open mind. In this podcast, I will talk about some of the spiritual meanings of our lives and draw a parallel between the gospel story and our future. Of course, I do not claim to be a preacher, much less a teacher of life. I am your friend who's talking to you right now. Let's take a look at what we have so far. There is the Gospel according to Matthew, chapter 13. Close your eyes and relax. On that day, Jesus went out of the house and was sitting by the sea, and great multitudes gathered to him, so that he got into a boat and sat down, and the whole multitude was standing on the beach. And he spoke many things to them in parables, saying, Behold, the sower went out to sow, and as he sowed, some seeds fell beside the road, and the birds came and ate them up. And others fell upon the rocky places, where they did not have much soil, and immediately they sprang up, because they had no depth of soil. But when the sun had risen, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. And others fell among the thorns, and the thorns came up and choked them out. And others fell on the good soil, and yielded a crop, some 100-fold, some 60, and some 30. He who has ears, let him hear. And the disciples came and said to him, Why do you speak to them in parables? And he answered and said to them, To you it has been granted to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it has not been granted. For whoever has, to him shall more be given, and he shall have an abundance. But whoever does not have, even what he has shall be taken away from him. Therefore I speak to them in parables, because while seeing they do not see, and while hearing they do not hear, nor do they understand. There are plenty of obligations and daily responsibilities in our lives we have to cope with. We try to find fault with someone who annoys us, who deals with our aggression, our ignorance, and our inability to correct our behavior. Instead of bringing out our best side, we often lose our temper and immediately blame anyone who dares to show their disagreement. It is better for us if no one can cite our incompetence and disregard for the norms of social behavior. It's like, don't touch me, or I'll touch you back. We don't know how to take criticism from the others, yet we collect our observations of someone else's failures, multiply them 2 or more times, and try to highlight them as much as possible so others can see our righteousness. But what's wrong with us? We have many talents to prove ourselves, helping the others, planting the seeds of our goodwill and deeds into the fruitful soil, regardless to many attempts by the others to make it fun as the form of unselfishness and stupidity, which is a rather unpopular thing for this crazy world. Why your dignity and true self-evaluation were so easily given up to this selfish marketplace of ideas in this new world order? Is there something that compels you give a coin to a beggar on the street, or to reach out to any lost child and help him to find his way at home to his parents? We throw the seeds of righteousness into the endless black hole of our ignorance. There is only way we can follow in order to stop this chaos of our minds. Turn to someone on the street and ask him, Do you need something I can do for you? The answer is in our hearts. and the sooner you find it, the better for you. Hello everyone, my name is Sergey. Thank you for joining me today. With an open heart and an open mind, in this podcast I'm going to talk about some of the spiritual meanings of our lives and draw a parallel between the gospel story and our future. Of course, I do not claim to be a preacher, much less a teacher of life. I am your friend who's talking to you right now. Let's take a look at what we have so far. There is the Gospel according to Matthew, chapter 15. Close your eyes and relax. And after he called the multitude to him, he said to them, "Hear and understand. Not what enters into the mouth defiles the man, but what proceeds out of the mouth, this defiles the man." Then the disciples came and said to him, "Do you know that the Pharisees were offended when they heard this statement?" But he answered and said, "Every plant which my heavenly Father did not plant shall be rooted up. Let them alone. They are blind guides of the blind. And if a blind man guides a blind man, both will fall into a pit." And Peter answered and said to him, "Explain the parable to us." And he said, "Are you still lacking in understanding also? Do you not understand that everything that goes into the mouth passes into the stomach and is eliminated? But the things that proceed out of the mouth come from the heart, and those defile the man." I'd like to quote Mother Teresa first. "Kind words can be short and easy to speak, but their echoes are truly endless. A word can heal, and a word can kill. As long as we claim to impose our truth on others, we suffer, and there is nothing we can do about. This is the way we live, trying to make anyone believe in our inviolability and rightfulness. If our neighbors disagree with us, we immediately take it as the deepest insult, and we rush to pay by the same in return. To blame is much easier than to make out the current problems and find the only right solution. Every word that comes from our heart enlightens or plunges this world into the huge darkness. Keep that in mind. Every minute that passes brings flowers of your kindness and goodwill. Have you ever noticed that a mother carrying her child in womb tries to put herself in the comfort zone, in the peaceful atmosphere, where she looks for kind words and calm music? The baby who was brought up by his worthy teacher claims to be the one who leads the others to follow his way, and the baby who was brought up by his worthless mentor will bring their destruction into the sacred temple of life. It's time to stop saying the words we used to say. It's time to realize that as long as we live, our heart will be responsible for every word that comes out of it. Hello everyone, I am Sergey. Today I'm going to read an excerpt from Antoine de Saint-Exupéry's The Little Prince and speculate distractedly about these things, drawing a parallel between our expectations and reality. Close your eyes and relax. So I lived my life alone, without anyone that I could really talk to, until I had an accident with my plane in the desert of Sahara 6 years ago. Something was broken in my engine, and as I had with me neither a mechanic nor any passengers, I set myself to attempt the difficult repairs all alone. It was a question of life or death for me. I had scarcely enough drinking water to last a week. The first night, then, I went to sleep on the sand 1,000 miles from any human habitation. I was more isolated than a shipwrecked sailor on a raft in the middle of the ocean. Thus you can imagine my amazement at sunrise when I was awakened by an odd little voice. It said, "If you please, draw me a sheep." What? Draw me a sheep? I jumped to my feet, completely thunderstruck. I blinked my eyes hard. I looked carefully all around me, and I saw a most extraordinary small person who stood there examining me with great seriousness. We are used to our comfort zone, putting on rose-colored glasses and ignoring the things that more or less determine our future is not the way to go. In the marketplace of ideas, there are many options for fitting into the world's value system. Many people are used to stability being the foundation of their lives. But one more shipwreck, and all their great plans and ideas would go down. Each challenge is a new opportunity to change your life by finding more meaning, to take care of your inner space by finding more peace. When I tried to sort myself out, I was betrayed by those I thought were my friends. They turned away from me as easily as they entered the circle of my most loyal friends. It took 5 months before I came to the conclusion that I needed to find something to distract me from this condition. I resolutely started to learn one after another foreign languages, expanding my range of interests and getting new emotions from life. Any new language in your life is your best friend. It helps you connect with the world and supports your ability to create a comfort zone for others. The walls of your self-confidence can be easily destroyed by a storm, but the experience gained through resistance will never let you down. Look at the green plants breaking through the asphalt toward the sun. That's the answer. Hello everyone, my name is Sergey. Today I'm going to talk about the distractions of our lives and draw a parallel between reality and our expectations. Let's talk about what real poetry is. Close your eyes and relax. Poetry is like an obsession, creeping into your life, knocking on your door like a rude drunk, right here, right now. It's invading you with all its majesty and unhappiness, greatness and stupidity. It's calling to you from the past, promising a great future. It has many names, but you only know one. You are trying your hardest to keep it out of your home, but at the same moment your barricade is crumbling like the house of cards. As a result, there is nothing you can do about this drunken invasion, and it's entering. I have no idea why. First as a child and then as a young adult, I was haunted by a strange sense of disconnection with myself and an almost agonizing attachment to a person I know nothing about. But this person definitely exists. It is as if he is protecting me from my inner enemies while at the same time being my outer enemy. It's like semolina with lumps stuck to the plate. You hate it as a child, but you have to eat it. Poetry is an unplanned kiss. It's like a sudden vacation in the Canary Islands, after which you feel rested and ready for real life. True poetry is the power of conviction, right here, right now. It's like the great hypermarket robbery with an imaginary gun. Everyone is mesmerized watching you. Yes, they can't move because everyone knows you don't have a gun, you have a heart. You're looking at them, smiling and saying, "I'm kidding, I'm all yours." I drink my summer from the children's bowl. My garden meets me as my loyal friend. It takes me back, it touches my trusting soul, like my grandmother did with her soft hand. Abandoned place, there is no nightingale, which brought the joy that is no longer alive. I lost grandparents, these clouds sailed on sunny days to heaven for a new life. Lost in the forest, it's been for a while. There are some ways, my friend, that you may see. I'll not forget the time my grandma smiled and eyes of grandpa had the color of sea. Hello everyone, my name is Sergey. Thank you for joining me today with an open heart and an open mind, and we have something interesting to talk and speculate about. Close your eyes and relax. Let's imagine the following picture. There is a man standing on the shore, watching the waves of the rebellious river. You should obviously say, "Nonsense, not this time." Let's try to imagine it anyway. Once again, there is a man standing on the shore looking around. The river is noisy. The boats and big barges are sinking. A man is standing there doing nothing. There are roofs, broken trees, people and animals sinking, but he is standing still. The water is rising, more and more. The water has already come out of the banks of the river and touched the soles of the man's feet, but he is standing still. The water is already up to this man's throat. He is standing still. The water is covering all of him with his head. Is that all? Do you think he drowned? Let us assume he drowned. So, why should I tell you about it? What is the point? So you claim the fact that he drowned. We claim nothing, you can say. What a pity about this man. The man? Yes. Who did you say it was a man? It was a monument. There is a summertime that enters our lives gently, soothingly, quietly, embracing us with the love of nature and the voices of children. They shout and play on the shores of our memories, picking up small stones with their hands and throwing them into the waves of the sea. Like the seagulls in the sky, they are completely free. There is nothing that can cause them to get upset. Just the waves, just the joy. Why people who are getting older are so obsessed with sitting nearby and looking at these children? They try to catch all the joy in the nets of their eyes and keep it alive for the rest of time. Childhood is the only time that never passes. Remember it. Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as this. It is as it was once said by Jesus Christ. So, let us be like them. Silence takes away your past, and there is no one you can trust. From now on you are a sword of light, and you must fight for every moment that you lived. How many times did you believe your sunny day will come, and you will have that promised gift on the hidden island of your fear? There is a light that you may hear. Be so naive and clear. Your true place is only here. It doesn't matter what is yours, if what you have can make you worse. Your faith has its own force. Life is the only chance to make your choice. you lived? How many times did you believe your sunny day will come? Hello everyone, my name is Sergey. Thank you for joining me today with an open heart and an open mind, and we have something interesting to talk and speculate about. Close your eyes and relax. For an enormous amount of his life, he has been playing his little game. The only thing he knew about his previous life was that he had never been able to capture and analyze it enough. Or was it? It could have been done differently. What if the whole universe could have been self-aware of this brilliant and majestic soul's appearance, ready to face all tests on its own path? Life begins with water, which from time to time turns into fire. Where is the point that he never trespassed? It is true that he has done this on a number of occasions, but only to survive and help the others find their way to the promised land. Everyone looks forward to their own dreams. Wherever we go, we should never give up hope. You must first put all your efforts into building your own mind in order to build the solid foundation of your life. There is no one without the other. The rocks look strong enough, but even they can be easily destroyed by an earthquake. The flowers look fragile enough, but even they can easily prick you with their thorns. They look like they have a tiger hidden inside, a true warrior in the making. The night he was born to fight is the most important time for a true warrior. The love that he brings into the world through all the hardships along the way is the true light of his resilient soul. Have you any memory of this? The leaves of trees are soft and fresh when they are in bloom. Ground by the sun, wind and rain, life is like an old vessel cracked by time. Time could easily destroy the vessel, for it was used by many. But the water that was in it remains constant. It flows through the coasts, through the bodies, and brings us to life. Educate yourselves in every aspect of your life. Be like children who are curious about everything around them. Build the tower of your intellect, but not of your ego. When spring comes, nature shows us all its beauty and strength. Let us take a look at some of the sayings of the great philosopher of antiquity, Aristotle. Be a free thinker and don't accept everything you hear as truth. Be critical and evaluate what you believe in. Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. The more you know you don't know. The most important relationship we can all have is the one you have with yourself. The most important journey you can take is one of self-discovery. To know yourself, you must spend time with yourself. You must not be afraid to be alone. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. Life is only meaningful when we are striving for a goal. Hello everyone, I am Sergey. Today I'd like to introduce you to a friend of mine from the United States of America whom we once met on a language platform, and I discovered him as someone with a great talent for expressing his thoughts about the world we live in. His name is Michael Denitelli. I would like to share with you one of his poems that I love. You told me once, not so long ago, that you had a lot to cry about, so let it out, cry with me, and feel better. How can I blame you or judge you, when the rain has always been my favorite sort of weather? Let your soul reset itself, allow your face to wet, be open with me and vulnerable with me, so that we can never forget the comedy we share. Show yourself to me, even the parts that hurt or that you fear may cause me to leave, because it will not as sure as the bed on which we might lay. Please let it out. Let there be no delay. And there are some of the reflections of Michael about what poetry in our life is. If I were to give a somewhat less than tentative answer as to my reasons for writing, I am fairly certain that it would sound something like the following. I write to preserve little moments in time, and I also write to give the world a shapelier sense of definition and to find new ways in which to shape it. Those reasons may seem whimsical and overwrought to some and perhaps even flat-out delusional to others, but they've always worked for me. From the time that I was small, I've always harbored the belief that the world is never quite as solid as the majority of us in it would contend that it is. It's through writing that I find the most immediate means to explore this notion, and that's why the ability to arrange words on the printed page is so essential for me. It's never really been something I want to do, or even a thing in which I excel, but a mainstay and a cornerstone to good health and good living. For me, writing is as essential as food and air and sleep, and not to mention the silence in which it is done. For me, it's not just a way to make a living, but a reason, in and of itself, to live. Irrespective of the form it takes, a poem, a story, a letter, or just a few dictated and fragmented thoughts on a piece of loose-leaf paper, writing must always be there. With that being said, though, I recognize and I'm fully aware of the fact that there will come and have come times when I'll be forced to write things that don't exactly stir my passions. On those more than likely occasions, I'll just be forced to let my approach to the work be as passionate as it can be. This again may sound highly impractical, but I would consider it as workable a solution as any. After all, as professional writers and those who work in any skilled trade, we are all given work from time to time which is less than exciting to us. However, there exists no written or unwritten law of writing that says we can't interface with a less than thrilling topic from a smile-inducing angle. To my mind, any writer who hasn't considered and given serious credence to that idea isn't worth his salt or even his water. Also, in my opinion, any innocent writer who finds him or herself stunted as to an angle at which he or she could approach a topic in a way that invigorates a work that would otherwise be just another drudging piece of copy probably isn't equal to the task of writing in any of its forms. That may not be the most diplomatic view that one can take of the matter, but that is simply how it seems to me. That's just the smallest taste of the reasons that I have for writing, and also my views upon the art itself. I hope that you will find something of value in the words I have dispensed here. The ways and jargon of the digital revolution don't fill the brain. They clog it like mental cholesterol. I could have lived my whole life without being tainted by its influence. Its thinning effect upon the language, its ravaging effect upon the human attention span. There is so much that we of my generation, and even those before us, and certainly those after us, fail to take in from the ordinary organic world. Not just the smell of a rose, or the feeling of fresh-cut grass between your toes, but simply the joy of a face-to-face chat in which no screen must intercede, or the slick feel of a pen in your hand as you write a note to a distant friend. Even the sense of presence that comes from a few moments alone, our fingers left unused for the pressing of keys. All this they miss, and even the sensation of missing someone is gone. In light of these absences, I frown on behalf of my peers, and I weep for the future. Hello everyone, my name is Sergey. Thank you for joining me today with an open heart and an open mind. Today I'm going to tell you 3 different stories connected by one meaning. Close your eyes and relax. I stood on the shore and gazed into the distance, choosing the right words to emphasize my amazement at the bright fall day that filled my heart with the serene voice of the lake. But still a myriad of words swirled around in my head, not giving me a single chance to get out. One more glimpse, and I'd be in for a full blast. Have you ever imagined these things coming into your life at the snap of your fingers? It's a good time to deal with your soul by getting rid of significant clutter, not allowing it to take up residence in our quiet interior. As long as we love the present moment we live in, we can put all our energies on the altar of freedom. We should never be disconnected from our soulmate making our way in the blissful delirium of this life. We are in touch with reality, breathless, enchanted by the present moment to give us more meaning to help other kindred souls to be involved in the same celebration of life. Reach out to feel that glorious sound of your own voice. Don't be ashamed of your mistakes made once upon a time. Don't reproach yourself for living many years out of love. All this time, the love that lived within you was reaching out to you, guiding your imagination-rich soul toward that bright shore. Allow yourself to live without clinging to such pathetic remnants of your guilt. We all more or less are guilty for our misunderstanding. Our world is a mirror of our soul. May it be positive. May it be in harmony with your true benefactor, which is yourself. He had waited for her all his life, enabled to savor the precise solitude, neglecting the life lessons that had taught him how to keep the balance in such a situation. He marveled at his perception of the dream until the moment he received the revelation from his heart. It said to him, "Keep going and never look back. Hundreds of miles of your journey have already been traveled, and there is no way to rewrite a single sentence." All the years he had lived, he had analyzed his life, waiting for the right moment to meet her. Like a mature fruit ripped from the tree, he put all his efforts to look good physically and mentally. He asked himself the same question many times. Am I really the person I'm trying to become? Do I really love this world as much as I can? Leaves fell from the trees, covering the dry yellow grass with their cooled bodies. Time to grow up. Wonderful or not, time does not pay attention to us, disregarding our expectations, leading us on a wrong path. Looking into the mirror of a clear lake, we expect to leave all our sorrows there once and for all. So let it be. Hello everyone, my name is Sergey. Thank you for joining me today with an open heart and an open mind. Today I'm going to speculate on what makes us frustrated with our imperfections and why we sometimes can't find common ground with this universe. Close your eyes and relax. What makes us prisoners of our memories and obsessive thoughts about a time we may have negatively experienced and still can't release it from our minds? We are panic-stricken to realize the fact that perhaps we are not as perfect as we think we are, or this world does not conform to our ideas of its nature as much as we would like it to. Snow covers the earth with new clothes, dispelling our doubts that until recently occupied our minds with their intensity and restlessness. It frees our souls from all useless emotionally spent negative experiences to give us the breath of new life. Once we have accepted this, we can be halfway to revival. The first and most important thing along the way is to forgive ourselves for the perfectionism we have been obsessed with, trying to make our point of view unquestionable among many others, mistakenly trying to be right or having no right to be wrong. Being held captive to our beliefs for years, we have almost forgotten that we are not always responsible for our imperfections and our desire to be in the right place at the right time. A flower breaks through the asphalt to see the sun, and screaming child begs to be held by its parents for protection, just as our consciousness tries to get its comfort zone. We've always kept our true emotions in check. A man is not allowed to cry, and a woman is not allowed to be so emotional. It is our own way of thinking, our inability to get along with our weakness that causes us to fail. The strongest person is the one who can recognize their weakness and start looking for a way to get rid of it. Any negative experience is an encouragement to move forward, becoming a better version of yourself. By looking into the distance, we can maintain our ability to get along with the harmony of this world for as long as possible. But by dwelling only on what is so near, we lose focus on our future. Keep a balance between your emotions and reality, and you will be saved. Hello everyone, my name is Sergey. Thank you for joining me today. With an open heart and an open mind, today I'm going to tell you what our benefits are. What is benefit? To explain it simply, we might see it as any attempt to sort out the mess in our lives and bring it into order. Any beneficial act that gives us different kinds of feelings such as joy, pride, honesty, etc. serves our self-acceptance and self-discipline. The meaning of the word benefit is much deeper than it may seem at first glance. It always relates to the efforts we put into the foundation of our daily lives. As soon as we start achieving our goals patiently, using our daily routines as tools to become better versions of ourselves, we can easily move toward success. Any kind of discipline involves a well-organized skill set and a well-tuned mindset, which in their complexity serve as a guidebook that can make us stronger and more capable. What am I trying to say with all this? By no means do I imply that every disciplined person scores 100% in achieving their goals compared to others. To maintain this ability to explore life patiently, we must be committed to our well-being, both emotionally and physically. Discipline is your way of life. No famous musician could master virtuosic music without being well organized and strongly disciplined. Similarly, no highly skilled fighter could win without pushing all their limits toward their goal of victory. A wise man once said, "To defeat your mortal enemy, you must first defeat yourself." I totally agree with this perspective, as it seems to me one of the perfect blueprints for a successful existence on planet Earth. Certainly, we would never be able to progress emotionally without accepting our failures. Life may treat us as badly as it can. Our neighborhood might disregard and devalue our attempts at self-growth, pointing to our vulnerability and inability to be resilient. But somehow, they are wrong with their rejection and unacceptance of our self-love. Let's imagine a baby, crying and stomping his feet, demanding his rights to be recognized. Why does he do that? He is not at an age where he is conscious enough to demand anything, but still he persistently follows through, because he feels that his potential benefits can only be achieved by using that way. On the way to healing, we need any kind of compassion, support, and understanding. No one is guaranteed to avoid falling into the same pit twice. Rejection is not the way to figure out the issue. Our mental health depends on how we accept this world in its peculiarity and how we maintain ourselves emotionally to heal instead of being judged.